but we don't want to hear the Spirit speaking to us.
Hallelujah. Amen.
We want to see our marriages grow, but we don't want to hear what the Lord is telling us to rectify and reconcile in our homes. We want to see all the blessings in our life, but we don't want to hear what the Spirit of the Lord is telling us to surrender and give over to God. We want to see a lot of things, but we don't want to hear what the Spirit of God is telling us. Let us become a church in this generation that doesn't have to see everything, but we can hear the voice of God. If we become a hearing church, then we can become a believing church.
Amen. Praise God.
Praise God. To the pastors, hear the heart of God and lead your churches, hearing what the God has in store for them. And then say it with boldness and conviction. Don't say it with complacency and pacifying anyone. Do it with God has convicted you. He rose in verse 8. So Saul rose from the ground, and when his eyes were opened, he saw no one. But they led him by the hand and brought him into Damascus. That's because that's what the Lord said. You see, God is going to take you into a place that you intended to go. But like we learned from the life of Joseph, what the enemy meant for evil, the Lord will turn around for good. He meant it for evil. He set out with evil intentions. He set out with the intentions to persecute and kill and bind and destroy the churches and the people of the way, the followers of Christ. But he set out with those evil intentions. But thank God that God got into his life, got in his way, and changed his life. Because what he set out for evil, the Lord turned it around for good. In the same city that he went to destroy the people, the Lord used him to bring the people to Christ.
Amen. Praise God.
He was there for 3 days without sight, and neither ate nor drank. And we have to be okay with us losing some things in our life for a season. Because if we're willing to lose some things in our life for a short season, there will be a long legacy that will come through you in the long run. Amen? You may have, like we heard last night, for a short season, you may have to be uncomfortable. But if you can get uncomfortable right now, the Lord will take care of your comfort later on. Amen? Here, he went without food, without drink, basically a fasting and prayer meeting, right? But he didn't have any special visiting pastors. He didn't have anyone else. He was by himself in a house. And he was by himself there, by himself with the Lord. And I want to believe he was having communion with the Lord. But as he was having communion with the Lord, with everything stripped away, his vision stripped away, his sight stripped away, his friends stripped away, his plans stripped away, his ideas stripped away, there was only him and God. If we only got to a point where everything was stripped away in our life and it was just us and God, what goodness and what greatness would come through us.
Amen.
Praise God. There's gonna come a moment in our lives that you're gonna have to lose some friends. And this is not just the young people. I see some of your Facebook profiles on your uncles and aunties. You guys are, you got it going on. The Lord may ask you to lose some friends. But are you willing to sacrifice that for a short season? So like through Paul, churches could be established in multiple cities, that letters could be written that would be preached from thousands of years later, that you would be considered one of the greatest apostles amongst his contemporaries? Are you willing? I'm not saying that to do it for all of those reasons, but if you're willing to sacrifice now the little that you have, the Lord will produce some lasting fruit through your life.
Amen.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
If you're willing to sacrifice the little right now, that means some of us are going to have to lose some of our friends. Some of us are going to lose some of our plans and ideas. Some of us are going to lose some of the relationships that we're in. You may have to put aside your girlfriends and your boyfriends, and don't put aside your wife or your husband. Just take him along with you. But you're going to have to lose some things in your life so that you can see greater and lasting fruit come through your life.
Hallelujah.
He lost his sight. He didn't eat. He didn't drink for 3 days. But I think we sang a song that said, you may be going through a lot, but all through your life, the Lord was still walking with you.
Amen.
Right?
Hallelujah.
The Lord was still walking with you. He's been watching you. He's been taking care of you. Let me tell you, if you can get alone with God, let me promise you, God is also speaking into somebody else's life to speak into your life.
Amen.
Amen?
Hallelujah.
There is an Ananias in your life. There will be a few Ananiases in your life that will rise up and be spoken to by God Himself, saying, you need to go speak to this person. You need to go pray over that person. I'm thankful for the Ananiases in my life. I'm thankful for the people that prayed for me, that encouraged me, challenged me. And there are people even in this hall today that have played that role throughout different stages of my life. And I'm thankful for those people that pushed me and prodded me and challenged me and pushed me to know that there is something greater that is in you.
Hallelujah.
Don't settle.
Hallelujah.
You see, when you're crying out, when you think that you've lost everything, when you thought you have no one else with you, let me tell you, there is an Ananias that God is speaking to somewhere on the other side of town.
Amen. Hallelujah.
And some of you are Saul or Paul, and some of you have to play the role of Ananias
Amen.
right now.
Amen.
Praise God.
Praise God.
Because there is an upcoming generation, a Saul or a Paul generation that's getting ready to rise up. And some of you elders, the Ananias that have walked in the way, that have seen the way, that have heard the voice of the Lord for years and decades, you're going to have to be the voice of reason, the voice of wisdom that pours into the coming generation that says, hey, I've heard from God and I know the Lord has called you.
Hallelujah.
And some of you Ananias have to rise up and say, where are the Sauls? Where are the Pauls?
Praise God. Hallelujah.
Come on, someone's gotta believe for
Praise
that.
God. Hallelujah. Praise God. Praise God.
But you still trying to, the Ananias are still trying to be the Sauls and the Pauls. The Ananias don't want to give up their role. The Ananias don't want to give up their spotlight. The Ananias don't want to give up their mic. The Ananias don't want to give up their position. The Ananias, oh, what happened? Everyone went quiet? But there is a day coming that your day has to come to a point where you realize the Lord has now called a soul. And now your job is to go identify them. And Ananias, pay attention to what the struggle that he went through. The struggle that he went through. Pay attention here. In verse 10, now there was a certain disciple of Damascus named Ananias. And to him the Lord said in a vision, Ananias. And he said, here I am, Lord. So the Lord said to him, arise and go to the street called Straight and inquire at the house of Judas. For I'm just reading fast. For one called Saul of Tarsus, for behold, he is praying. For one called Saul, he is praying. What is he doing? Praying. What is he doing?
Praying.
Young people, what is he doing? Oh, come on. Where's the shout? What is he doing? Praying. If we only would pray. And all the uncles and aunties are smiling. You don't get practice, but if there's a few, see, one thing the Lord kept telling me coming to this weekend is this. There is a remnant in Dallas.
Amen.
There is a few in Dallas. If 60 churches got together, I know this church and I know this church personally. When they come together, they probably fill out this place. But if 60 churches got together in Dallas, come on. You'd have to get the Verizon Theater or something. Is there such a thing? Yes. But there is a remnant
Amen.
in Dallas
Amen.
that is hungry
Hallelujah.
and that is praying for a revival.
Yes.
Let me break it down further. There is a remnant in every church that is tired of the same old, same old. And there is a remnant in every church across generations. Let me just not say, oh, it's the uppachins and ummachis that are the remnant. No, there is a generations in the uppachins and ummachis. Thank God. Because all the uppachins and ummachis are not praying for revival. There's a few uppachins and ummachis praying for revival. Let me also say there's a few middle-aged folks praying for revival. Everybody's not praying for revival because we all want the comfortable life. Let me also tell you there's a few 30s and 40s Because we're not middle-aged yet. We're not getting there yet. But let me just tell you, there's a few 30s and 40s. Not everybody, but there's a remnant in every church that is crying for something more because we're tired of the same old. Let me also tell you, there's a few 20-year-old somethings in this place and in every church, like maybe a Chester Phillips and maybe a few others in this place that says, I'm tired of the same old. There is a remnant in Dallas amongst the teenagers that are not going after everything that everyone else is going after. That is hungry for the move of God. That is